We making waves, artists waves. We making waves, artists waves.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Artist Waves Live, Friday morning edition of Artist Waves Live. That was K-Bong. I'm Jeff Gorra. John Cooper from Skillet is going to be joining us today on Artist Waves Live. John Cooper from Skillet, the band Skillet, great band out of Memphis, Tennessee, that is going to talk to us about some new projects that he has going on. It is going to be a little bit shorter than usual due to John's busy schedule, and I really appreciate him taking the time to chat with us on a Friday morning, a snowy Friday morning. What's up with that? I'm not thrilled about it, but hey, what are you going to do? New backdrop. What do you think of the new backdrop? All I did was I just rotated a little bit. Rotated walls, and I think... wait, is that John? Is that John? I think that. John, is that you? I'm not sure if that's the right screen name. Anyway, yeah, I just rotated walls here on Artist Waves Live Studio, aka my office in my house. So we're going to chat about the fun things that Skillet has going on, and I had the opportunity to engage with some of their really great fans, aka the Panheads, to add a little segment at the end. If we have time for a question or two, maybe we'll do that too. So I see John Cooper Skillet has joined us. Oh, all right, thanks. You Skillet John Cooper, maybe just a big fan. So thanks for joining us. But tricky screen name there, you got me. So I'm not sure if John's going to be joining from his personal account or from the Skillet account, but he will be joining, and we will chat. So Skillet has been busy, as they always are, and they are putting out a new comic series. They recently re-released their latest record as a kind of a deluxe edition. And what else can I say? I did a feature with John. I think it was in 2016, late 2016, where we did a bit of a reflective on 20 years of Skillet and what the band has endured, overcome, and accomplished over 20 years. It was really fun, and it was really successful, I guess, amongst the Skillet community in terms of a bit of a history lesson and just how much the band has meant to so many people over the years. Hard to believe it's been 20 years. It's now at 24 now. And I also did a piece with Jen Ledger from Skillet about 4 or 5 years ago. In fact, when she did a solo record, she released... she did almost like a guest article on Artist Waves talking about what the solo material means to her. So that was quite fun as well. So I think John Cooper will be joining us shortly. We're about 2 minutes into our 11:40 time. Hey, yeah, Maxwell Prevat. I saw that you wrote me that you used that article in a speech you did last month, and if I get the opportunity, first of all, I really appreciate that. That's quite the honor. That's really, really cool. And I really appreciate you telling me that. I'm going to tell John that if we get the chance at the end, if we have time, we have a bit of a segment where we're going to read through some things that some Skillet fans have said about how their music has helped them lately. And I want to bring that up because I think you might get a kick out of that too. So we have a couple of fun things to talk about. Again, it's going to be relatively short in terms of Artist Waves Live's typical series. I usually go on for about 30 or 40 minutes, and I think this one might be about 15. So we'll keep it tight, we'll keep it to the point, and we will have fun, of course. Next week, I'll use this as a moment to talk about next week. No Artist Waves Live interview. Next week, I think we got some more important things going on, and though I thought about it, I don't know if it would be the right format or the right distraction. I'm not sure how much I would be all there with what's going on and what's happening next week with the election and everything. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe something will pop up, and maybe it'll be worthwhile talking about. What are we going to talk about today? In today's interview, we're going to talk about a couple different things. We're going to talk about what John has been up to, what Skillet's been up to, some of the exciting new things that they have on the table. We're going to talk about, I'm curious myself on how John and the group have navigated the past few months, individually, personally, some of the things that they do to keep themselves upbeat and to keep themselves creative. We're going to talk about Eden Part 2, the new comic series that John was a part of that is coming out in November 10th, I believe. There's an Eden number 1, which you probably all know about. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to get to hopefully some fan questions, some fan comments if time allows. I know he does have a couple back-to-back interviews. I'm not sure if we are sandwiched in between. That might be a minute here on the delay in time. But nonetheless, we'll talk. This is a fun format to talk. This is episode 34 or something of Artist Waves Live that started in April, just because we were all home, and I thought this might be I saw other people do it, and thought this might be a fun way to do interviews. We do a ton of interviews on Artist Waves. Maybe we'll try this, and now they're pretty much all this way. It's become a fun live chat series that also gets posted to the site. The other thing I'll say is unrelated. There's a new article on artistwaves.com today too. It's called 4 Songs for Twins on their 4th birthday. And so sometimes it's not all interviews. Sometimes it's some long form pieces that post just to the site. Sometimes it's just articles. Sometimes it's a combination of both. But check that out if you have a minute. Fun read. And then obviously we got this with John going on today too. So now is, given we're waiting a minute or two here and waiting for John to join, where I just have to get creative and improvise and just kind of go off script and talk because I don't know what else to say. So anybody have any questions? Anybody want to talk? I'll show you this. This right here is a little scrap piece I put together. This is a little scrap piece I put together. So yesterday I engaged some of my fellow Skillet fans, panheads, and asked them for if they felt like sharing some information on what the music has meant to them and some stories. So I'm going to read a few of those to John if time allows. This is some really, really incredible, moving stuff from people around the world. So when you see me hold this up later, that's what that is. What's the signatures behind me on the guitar? That is a signed guitar by Pearl Jam, who is one of my favorite bands on the planet. I didn't get it signed myself. It was given to me as a gift. Probably one of the best gifts I've ever received, to be honest. I was in my cousin's wedding, who's my best friend in the world, and as a wedding gift for being in his wedding, he gave me that, which was pretty remarkable. He and I have been to 40 Pearl Jam shows together over the course of the past 25 years or whatever. That's a Fenway banner from the away shows that they played in 2018, and that's a signed guitar that I just put up in the Artist Wave studio here 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that. So I figured it'd be a cool backdrop. Let me see. Let me shoot a little quick text note off to the Skillet crew. Okay, he's running a little bit late, but should be on soon from their management. And that was John is here. Perfect timing. Right on cue. Here we
What's up?
Hey, John. How are you?
Hey, I'm so sorry I'm late, brother.
Oh, no worries at all. We were having some fun little dialogue back and forth, just waiting for you. So no problem, man. I appreciate you joining Artist Waves.
Oh, it's great to chat with you, brother.
Likewise. How are you? Are you in Memphis?
I'm actually I actually live in Wisconsin. I am from Memphis, but I've lived in Wisconsin for 20 years. So
Okay.
I'm officially a cheesehead, I guess. That's what they call
Packer?
it.
Are you a Packer fan?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I had to be because my wife is from Kenosha,
Okay.
Kenosha, Wisconsin, and so like being a Packer fan was like we can't get married unless I was a Packer fan. So it was like a rite of passage into the family.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, at least you got a good team. That's an exciting place to be for this season, I imagine.
Looking good so far, baby. Looking good.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking time to chat with me on a Friday morning. I don't know about you, but I feel like I got the Wisconsin, the weather right now in terms of the frozen tundra. It's snowing. I'm in Boston. It's snowing.
Ah,
So we got snow in the backdrop in the windows here
wow.
behind us. So yeah, kind
That's
of crazy.
amazing. It's pretty cold today, but it's not so. It's about, I think it's 29 or 30 here,
Okay.
but no snow. So
Yeah, it's just 2020 flashing its flashing its grand at us again, but it's all good. So I was talking a minute or two before we joined. You and I did a piece. I guess it was almost 4 years ago, reflective for Artist Waves on 20 years of Skillet, and then a lyric special afterwards. And I gotta tell you, it's still one of my favorite things we've ever done because it it really got me deep into this greater Skillet community, the greater Panhead community,
ah,
about just how much the music has impacted so many lives.
wow.
In fact, I was going to bring this up later, but I was just talking with someone who mentioned that they came across the piece we did and they just recently used it in a speech that they made. So, I mean, that was pretty cool, pretty touching for me. Shout out Maxwell for sharing that.
That's funny, man. That's
Yeah.
funny. I love that. That's really so encouraging, and it is a unique thing. Sometimes I say it in interviews. It just sounds like hyperbole because it's hard to explain. But there really is a Skillet community that is very very family oriented. It's hard to explain, but I meet people. I almost every concert when we do a VIP, I will meet people who say we met on a Skillet online chat. We met on a fan site for Skillet, and our first date was a Skillet show. And we've had people come through the VIP thing, and then a guy will drop to his knee and ask his fiance or girlfriend to marry him in the VIP line.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Skillet fans very much feel like family. I don't know exactly what that is, but something about the lyrics, the music, the vibe of Skillet. Maybe it's that we are very welcoming people. I mean, I'm quite a people person in general and personable. Maybe that's part of it. Whatever it is, I'm glad that you experienced it. That's really cool to hear.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I think that's what it's all about. And I have a little bit more that I want to share with you on that later if we have a minute. But I want to ask you first. I was thinking a lot about this lately. Obviously, your music and your words and your messaging is so uplifting and positive, but also addresses that times are hard. You have to take it on.
Yeah.
I'm curious from yourself, from a creative standpoint. Obviously, it's been quite challenging and different for everybody. How have you navigated the past few months? What are some of the things that you've done personally and creatively to, calibrate yourself, or to maybe get yourself right mentally, or to get yourself out of an anxious mood? Anything in particular you've resorted to?
Well, to tell you the truth, I mean, it has been hard, of course, as it is with everybody. You have to learn how to work your business, or maybe not have any business at all. I don't know why I'm laughing about that. It's not
That's
good.
a good point.
But yeah, it is a life change. I think that I'm someone. What I really don't like about American culture today? I don't like the victimhood, like the victim status. We're constantly looking for ways to make ourselves into victims, because I don't want to get too into the philosophy of it, because people might not care and get bored and turn off. But there really is a philosophy that kind of says that victimhood is a virtue. It's almost like something that you should want to get, because if you have victimhood status, you're actually a better person. And I don't like that. I think that's crap. I think that is that is a way to not do anything with your life and constantly look for, other people to blame. It's your fault that I don't have a job. It's your fault that COVID hit, or, your fault that my life is, that I'm suffering depression in the middle of COVID. Because a lot of people are very sad and very depressed. So I don't like always looking for something to blame it on. So I've just found that I just go, you know what? I'm going to make priorities in my life. You can't get out of COVID. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't go play concerts, John. So make a decision. What are the goals that I would like to do? Are there things I would like to do with my life? And then can I do them during this break? And one of those goals for me has always been, I hope, to be a good dad, be a good parent and give my kids whatever time they can. And so trying to say, hey, every night we're going to sit down and have dinner together and we're going to talk. And me and my son are going to build I'm going to build a pallet I love building things. So we're going to build a pallet furniture. Yeah, I don't know if you know what pallet furniture is, but I've got some old wooden pallets and we're going to break them down and build a cool couch, and do those kinds of things. So I would encourage people to have goals in your life and don't be someone that lets all your circumstances rule over you. I prefer to I like to be the one in charge. You know what I'm saying? Never give up, never give in. You hear that in a lot of my songs too. I'm a very positive person. On another personal level, just to answer, it would be lying to not answer that. I love to read the Bible. I love to read in general, but I do love the Bible, and my faith in God gives me a lot of peace that even when things aren't going the way maybe I want them to go, I know that God is in control of life, not me. There's nothing that I can do to make this earth keep spinning on its axis, and there's nothing I can do to make this pandemic go away. That is in God's hands. So I think a kind of a respect, I think it's like a healthy respect, a healthy fear of the Creator gives me a lot of peace in my life, that I can only do what I can do, but I trust that there's a greater force at work, and that's what the Bible teaches.
That's really refreshing to hear you say that. I really appreciate that insight and that feedback, because I've tried my best to do exactly pretty much what you said. And sometimes you just need a refresher that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right thing. So,
right.
Or just to share the same thought with somebody else. So
Awesome.
Right on to that. Cheers to that. I want to shift gears really quickly. Oh, before I do, I should say your song Anchor has been with me quite a bit lately. So that's one that's really gravitated. First, numerous reasons, but I've always loved the concept of and the visual of an anchor, and how how profound it is. So I've really gravitated towards that when I first saw the title, and then it's very applicable to now. So shout out to Anchor real quick.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you, brother.
In your description. I want to shift gears really quick in the interest of time. Sure. I know that, so you got, your creative juices are constantly flowing and within the Skillet world and then within your own world. And you got the comic Eden Part 2 coming out November 10th. And woo! Man, it's so cool. I've had some time with it. And first of all, you can't help but be blown away by the illustrations. The artwork is so well done.
Awesome.
And it's so it's just the detail. There's so much detail in it that is really captivating. And I'm curious, from your standpoint, creatively, how involved are you in the actual storyline? And what, from a creative perspective, is it a similar process to do something like that than it is versus writing a song? Or is it kind of two different gears?
Right. I see what you mean. Okay, first part. Actually, I'll start with the second part. Second part first. There are some similarities, actually. What I really enjoyed about it is that it is a similar part of your brain. You're saying, hey, I have a story I want to tell. Because when you write a song, you really are telling a story, right? You're telling a story about how you feel or how you perceive the world, or an encouragement to someone else not to give up on their life, whatever that may be. You're telling a story. And so writing the book was similar to that. But the fun part about it was that my whole career wasn't resting on it. Like if people hate it, I still have a job doing music. So in that sense, I mean, I'm kind of being cheeky, but but I'm actually not, because in that sense, it was a little bit liberating, because you don't have to there was no stress involved. It was just fun. It was a fun outlet for me to get to tell a story that I wanted to tell. But you want to do it in a way where you have cool overtones. Maybe those overtones are religious or philosophical or political, whatever it is that you want to get across, and you find new cool ways to do that. I did write the story. One of the things that was great, now the second book comes out this month. So the first one came out last year. When I did the first one, I didn't know what it would be like. So I had a story, an idea, a plot. This is kind of the goal of it. This is what happens. And then I had co-writers that did an amazing job. And I will say this, if I didn't have the co-writers, it would be horrible. So it was my idea, but it takes a different kind of talent to take a concept and put it into little, when you're reading a comic book, they only have thought bubbles every so often. You can't have that many sentences and that much narration. So doing it in a way that keeps your attention was really difficult. But doing the second one, I was a lot more prepared. So I was more involved in the writing even on the second book than the first. But it's just a really exciting story. And funny enough, there was no COVID when we wrote the first book, but the book is about a little bit of a dystopian future. And there are factions of people trying to fight over how to make Earth a better place. Some people want to do it by force, and some people want to do it through liberty and through love and through making the world a place of civility, a place where we can disagree about things. Leave me alone, let me live my life, and you live your life. It's not really totally dissimilar to what we're experiencing, I think, in the world right now with this pandemic and stuff. So it's quite interesting, I think.
It's awesome. It really is. It's so cool. And I love to see an artist branch out and exercise all of their creative energy into new things. I think it inspires people. I'm curious that the Aftermath is tagged to the title, which is obviously also tagged to your latest release in the deluxe version. Is there any joining of the two worlds in terms of maybe some of the music from the latest record meshes with the music of this comic, or is that coincidental?
Yeah, there is a little bit, because when we wrote the first book, we originally put in a song. We gave away a song with it. So, on the first page, you could download a song. And
Yep.
We wrote the song specifically for the comic. And the song was called Dreaming of Eden. And it just felt like a really special song to me. At first, it was like, oh, this will just be cool to do. And then it became something really meaningful. And when we were getting ready to release the second book, when we were finishing up writing the second book, was right in the middle of COVID. And I was thinking of the book going, wow, this song is so pertinent to life in 2020. It's actually just as pertinent to us being in lockdown and dreaming of a better world, saying when we come out of this, all of a sudden, like people were missing family. You're missing people that you just never thought you'd be away from. You know what I mean? And people like my drummer, Jen Ledger, who is the drummer for Skillet, her grandmother died during COVID, and she wasn't allowed to fly to England to see her. And even her family in England, they only allowed 3 people to go to the funeral. This has been a brutal time. And so I felt that the song Dreaming of Eden was actually just as pertinent for 2020 as it was the comic. So some of that, so Dreaming of Eden, we put on the release of the new record of Victorious the Aftermath. So that kind of brought in a connection, I think, of what was happening. And so because I felt that the songs on the extended version of Victorious, because I thought they were really encouraging for this time, it just all kind of seemed to coincide. The message of the comic is a little bit like the message of these new songs.
Awesome. I was wondering that, and I'm happy to hear that there is some overlap. I appreciate that. That's really cool. I really can't wait for everyone to see it and for it to do its thing. I think I got to let you go. I know we're up against some time, and I know you got a busy schedule, so I don't want to delay you. But before I do, I just want to read you one quick thing. I mentioned earlier that I had past few days further engaged with some fellow Skillet fans, some fellow panheads, and from people around the world. And if you don't mind, I just wanted to share with you a couple of comments that I got
Of course.
from people in terms of how your music has helped them in general, and how how impactful it's been during this time when you probably need it the most, maybe. So without any order or any names attached to it, I just wanted to tell you a few things here. Okay, so I'm 27 years old. I'm from Northeast Mississippi. I have a rare genetic condition, and I'm also on the autism spectrum. Your music is so inspiring to me. God is definitely using you guys through your music. And my question for you later is, what is the inspiration behind Finish Line? I feel Skillet is what really led me to becoming a follower of Jesus. I told you about our piece getting used in a speech, but I also wanted to tell you that I use listening to Skillet really helped me. Skillet really helped me keep my eyes on God while I was dealing with epilepsy, and not one but 3 brain surgeries. Every time, without fail, I opened my Skillet playlist, clicked shuffle, and got the song I needed to hear. Thank you for impacting my life the way that you have. That's heavy, man. I have a hard time going through that, and it's just beautiful words. And
wow.
Besides the stress of moving, Skillet's music helped keep me on my focus, especially the title track off of Victorious. I couldn't tell you how many times I've listened to that particular song. Skillet's got me through workouts. I love their positive messages. Their music always lifts my spirit. Skillet are my life at the moment. I was just getting into them when a partner of mine and I of 8 years broke up. Skillet have helped me through so much, not just the music, but the motivational speeches. Don't ever look back. Excuse my fumbling of words on occasion, but it's goosebumps just reading that and delivering the feedback to you without getting choked up. So thank you for everyone who shared that. And I just wanted to,
incredible.
It doesn't make you uncomfortable, but I felt like you should hear it too.
Yeah, that's really moving and incredible stuff. And to all the people that wrote in, that means a lot to me. And I really have no words to say. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful that our music, really does help people, and it means a lot to people. That's a real honor. That's a real honor to me, honestly. I've got no words for it. So thanks to everyone listening. Music helps. Music heals, So I'm a big believer in that. And I just love the fans. They're special. And I'm glad you shared those things with me. So if they're listening, I love you guys out there. Thank you so much.
Any words about the song Finish Line and where that came from? I was curious about that too.
Yeah, well, I mean, Finish Line is this kind of, I guess we end the interview with where we started, which is, Finish Line is very much like, I'm not going to let my circumstances dictate my life, or I'm not going to let maybe other people dictate my life, right? Like people that have told you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you'll never make it. You don't deserve this or this. I'm not going to let that dictate my life. I'm going to keep running that race. And it's not about being the richest. It's not about being the most powerful. It's about running the race, and it's about finishing, making goals of who you want to be, what you want to do in your life. And Finish Line for me was very much like, I am not giving up. I mean, we've been Skillet for 23 years. That's a really long career, and there's been a lot we've had to fight through, and we're still going. I saw things in my life, of course, that I'm like, I can't give up on this. You got to finish the race. So we kind of end where we started, really, which is that song is meant to make people feel like they are literally getting on the blocks, waiting for the the countdown and the gunshot to where you're supposed to tear out and run the race like you want to win it. It's supposed to give you that feeling, because that's what life is. And of course, the Bible talks about that. The Bible compares life to a race quite a lot. And we're not quite a lot, but a few times. And they're very impactful messages about not giving up and finishing. The Bible talks about like God finishing the work that he started in you. That's a process that he is going to do in me. And if God is always going to be faithful to me, and I want to be faithful to him. So that's what Finish Line is about. And I'm really glad that it meant something. I'm so glad that they said that in that particular thing, man.
Yeah, that likewise, and you're right. That is a perfect coming full circle here, and a really beautiful message and a profound message to end on. So, having said that, I don't want to keep you too long, but John, I really thank you. First of all, for coming on and talking to me this morning, and also for you and the group for everything that you guys do. It really obviously means a lot and has a significant impact. So, thanks,
Thank you
man.
so much.
It was great talking to you, and I wish you guys the best the remainder of the year, and hopefully see you back out on the road next summer.
Hopefully so. It's great chatting with you. Thanks so much. Thanks for everybody for joining us. I hope to see you again down the road.
Right on. Thanks, John. Have a great one. Appreciate it.
You too, brother. Later.
Take care.
All right.
All right. John Cooper from Skillet. Thank you, everybody, for joining in, for engaging, for your hearts, your comments. I saw France. Shout out France. I want to say Australia. I saw New Jersey. Shout out New Jersey. That's where I'm from. And everybody else. These comments and questions that were submitted to me, and people that had conversations with me about Skillet music and what it's meant to them. Man, that's some heavy stuff, and it's what it's all about. I had a hard time reading some of that without getting a little dusty in here. So, Germany, hello. This is Artist Waves Live. I'm Jeff Gorra. Please follow us on Instagram. Our show, Artist Waves Lives, happens at least once a week, although next week is an off week, but we'll still be live with some other stuff. John has some really amazing things to say, and that was a fun and special conversation. I love how we ended it. I love the messaging. I love the question of finish line. He said it. I mean, I'm by no means an example, but people tell me all the time. I've heard quite a bit that, maybe it should be the end of Artist Waves. Maybe Artist Waves starting shouldn't have even been a good idea in the first place. But I'm still here, and I'm still doing it, and I don't plan on going anywhere for a while. So, or ever. So, so anyway, thank you so much. That was awesome. John Cooper, Skillet. Check out their new comic book, Eden Part 2. It's really awesome. I mean, the illustration, the storyline, and all of the creativity behind it is special. So those of you that have Eden Part 1 are going to be in for quite a thrill with what's coming. And for those of you that don't, maybe you will after you see Part 2. It's really cool. Thanks again. Skillet Music, John Cooper, Jeff Gorra signing off. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Go vote, and we will be back November 2nd. Next live show, November 2nd, which is a week from Monday, with my good friend Nick Hexum from 311. So, signing off. Cheers. Thank you.